Social Security is one of the most important decisions that retirees will ever make. Not because it's optional, but because when you claim it can dramatically affect your lifetime income. I'm Eli Freeman, certified financial planner, and let's look at the data. Social Security began in 1935 as part of Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal. It was born out of the Great Depression, and back then, millions of Americans had lost everything: savings, jobs, and the ability to retire. The Social Security Act created a guaranteed income stream funded through payroll taxes to make sure that no one who worked their whole life would live out their final years in poverty. Every paycheck, you and your employer each pay 6.2% in Social Security tax. Those dollars don't go into a personal account. Instead, they're used to pay benefits for today's retirees. In return, you earn credit towards your own future benefit, calculated from your top 35 earning years, adjusted for inflation. When you retire, you have a choice. You can start benefits as early as age 62, wait until your full retirement age between 66 and 67, depending on when you were born, or you can delay all the way to age 70. The difference between those choices can be large. So let's use an example. Suppose your full retirement age benefit, your 100% amount, is $2,500 per month. If you turn Social Security on at age 62, you'll get a permanent reduction of roughly 30% from that number. So you'll receive about $1,750 per month. At age 63, it's about 25% lower, $1,875, all the way up to your full retirement age of $2,500, with increments each year. But if you wait every year past your full retirement age, that adds about 8% to your benefit from age 67 through age 70. So at age 70, your maximum benefit would be around $3,100 per month. That's a difference of about $1,350 per month between claiming at 62 versus claiming at 70, nearly a 75% increase in your guaranteed lifetime income. So the question is, why would anyone take it early? And the most common reason is simple: they need the income. Maybe they retired early, lost a job, or want to preserve their savings. But for those who can afford to wait, the math heavily favors patience. So let's talk about the break-even point, where total benefits received by claiming later finally surpass what you would have collected if you started early. If you start at 62, you'll collect checks for more years, but at a smaller amount. And if you wait, you'll get fewer checks, but they'll be larger. On average, the break-even point usually falls between age 78 to 80. So for example, if you start at age 62 and collected $1,750 per month for 16 years, by 78, you would have received $336,000. If you waited until 67, it would take you about 11 years until roughly age 78 to catch up. From that point forward, the person who waited earns thousands more each year for the rest of their life. And that's before factoring in cost of living adjustments. Since Social Security is inflation protected, waiting not only gives you a higher base benefit, but it gives you larger cost of living adjustments that increase every year. That compounding effect can make a significant difference, more so in your 80s and your 90s. Now let's talk about working while claiming early. If you start benefits before your full retirement age and you keep working, you'll run into the earnings test, which in 2025, the limit is roughly $25,000. If you make more than that, for every $2 that you make over $25,000, they reduce your Social Security benefit by $1. So why did Social Security decide to make the break-even point between age 78 to 80? They decided this because of life expectancy. According to the Social Security Administration, the average 65-year-old man today is expected to live around 83 years old, and the average woman to about 86. That means most retirees will live long enough for waiting for that to pay off. But if you live to age 85, waiting until 70 could yield roughly $75,000 to $100,000 more in total lifetime benefits than starting at age 62. But if your health is poor or your family longevity is short, taking it earlier could be an irrational choice. The key is that the decision should align with your personal situation and not just your age. One often overlooked factor is the survivor's benefit. If you're married, your spouse's future income may depend on your claiming decision. The higher earner's benefit often becomes the survivor's benefit, which means delaying can provide long-term protection for a surviving spouse. There's also a psychological side to it. Some people prefer to take it early because you never know what could happen, and that's what they say, you never know. Others value the peace of mind that comes from locking in a higher guaranteed benefit. Both approaches can be reasonable, but the data consistently shows that those who live an average or longer than average life expectancy benefit most from waiting. Here's the bottom line. Claiming at 62 gives you smaller checks for more years. Waiting gives you fewer checks, but much larger ones. And since Social Security is one of the few inflation-adjusted lifetime income sources left in retirement, maximizing it can be one of the best financial moves that you make. So, before turning it on, look at your health, your other income sources, and your goals. Because when it comes to Social Security, patience can pay for decades. I'm Eli Freeman, and this is the Data Brief. Thank you for joining, and I hope you join us next time. If you enjoyed this video about Social Security and you found it informative, I've also done a video on retirement income, how you can take distributions from a portfolio and how much that you should. If that interests you, click here.